to the Firefly Tiny Workshop. We are right in the middle of a build right now that we're calling the Lumos. And it's a really good time to show off a few details that you won't be able to see when she's covered with her shiny siding and interior trim and all that kind of thing. But there's some things going on that make a really big difference to how this tiny house will perform. It's hard for me to express how much I love to build things. Especially I'm passionate about building really high performance and comfortable and durable homes on a budget that's approachable for most people. So I'm constantly researching ways of assembling a building, a home, a tiny home with materials and systems that are not over the top when it comes to expensive, but perform really, really well and are really valuable in how they get put together. So a few of those things, like I really like the zip system. I think it's, there's perhaps, there's other much more expensive ways of integrating an air and water barrier, but I think this one is good and it performs well, especially if you add a few touches. Like for us, we go ahead, even though it's not required for the zip system, like 30-year warranty, you don't really have to cover the nail holes, but we go ahead and use zip liquid flash. We cover all nail holes and penetrations in every wall and every roof. We go ahead and use the zip stretch tape on our corners, which we think really create a great integrated, seamless corner. And then we use zip liquid flash on kind of those awkward spots. Here we've used it around the wheel well and things like that. We've gone ahead and at the bottom where the wall assembly meets the foundation, the trailer, there's some things going on behind there as far as like gaskets and caulks and things like that. But then we go a step further and go ahead and use the zip flashing tape and just flash the bottom of our OSB, which is I think a vulnerable spot. That bottom edge of OSB needs to be, special care needs to be taken there. So we go ahead and do that. One thing that I will say about this particular trailer, it's getting black siding, black roof trim and everything like that. There'll be a little extra white trim around the windows. We think the black and white is really classy. But then to warm it up right here, above the slider and this window and below this window, there's going to be some warm cedar tongue and groove siding. A couple of warm cedar touches on the very back as well. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. It's kind of like my favorite color scheme, and we're throwing it into this first build of the Lumos. All right, so when you step up to the tiny house, there'll be a slider door here with a key set and everything. We thought that was the best way, best kind of durable long-term performance. Sliders, in my experience, are just a little less finicky than French doors or things like that. And you don't have to deal with the French door swinging out or in and the space that takes. So we'll step up in here through the slider door. And you'll notice here in the living room, we've decided to not throw a second loft in here, but just to create this really high and open space with these really big windows. We've got a 6-foot window in the front, a 6-foot window here. We've kept them a little bit higher, so we'll put a corner couch here. Will come with this particular tiny that will also pull out into a bed. So you've got a 6-foot slider, 6-foot window, 6-foot window, and this is just a really open and we think is just going to be really a wonderful place to kind of crash, to lounge, to entertain. Really flexible space. Over in this corner, we've made sure to leave enough room for an integrated, a built-in shoe cabinet. After living for a couple of years, traveling in a very small for our family of four, RV, we realized just how important it is to have a place for those things to go, like shoes or whatever you want to put in here, just kind of a drop zone that's out of the way and out of sight. It's very important. And then we've also had a space to mount a television here as well. All right, that's the living room. We'll have a nice dimmable LED lights in the ceiling. We'll have a ceiling fan here that can oscillate actually back and forth. You can point it up in the loft if you want. And speaking of the loft, we'll have a stairway kind of built in going up to the loft. And in that, the kitchen sort of starts in the stairway. We'll have integrated cabinets. We'll also have right around here, we'll have a built-in dishwasher. And then this will be a galley style kitchen with sink, dishwasher, refrigerator going on over here with some more cabinets and things like that. We've put this nice decent sized window above the sink, so it helps open this space up a little bit. On this side, and just in front of this nice big window, we'll have a countertop height kind of bar with a couple of stools, and we've continued the wheel well cavity out further so that the two stools have some place to rest their feet. And we'll put a hinge top on here, creates another little hidden storage compartment, shoes or boots or whatever you want. Moving a little further, this countertop will just be continuous all the way to this wall here, but there'll be a in-cabinet single electric oven. And then above that, there'll be a dual burner induction cooktop. And I'm separating those out and keeping it a 2-burner so that it puts less load and I don't have to put another 220 amp breaker in here, because if you do happen to pull this somewhere where you only have like a 20 amp or a 30 amp extension cord available, you'll still be able to run this 2-burner induction cooktop, whereas if you added a 3rd or a 4th burner, that wouldn't be an option. So to compensate for that, we just thought maybe it would be great if we included a standalone portable induction cooktop. For those times where you happen to need more than 2 burners, you can pull that out, put it on the counter here or over there, or even outside if you want. But we thought that would be a great combination. You can have more than 2 if you want, but you're not locked into a cooktop that takes more than a 110 circuit. Just something that we learned when we were RVing is it's really important to stay flexible and like just come up with ways that you can get around some of the limitations of having a home that's mobile and sometimes at the mercy of whatever power situation you have. Hopefully, you set this up permanently. You don't have to deal with any power limitations. We've got a big enough board in here where if you do have a 50 amp plug in here, you're not going to have to worry at all. So that's a kitchen. We'll have some LED strip lighting and things like that. And then heading back into underneath this very big loft, which I'll highlight in a second, we'll come back into the bathroom. Over here we have a nook for a washer-dryer combo unit with a built-in cabinet up here. And we put some power in here, and I'll run cable and things like that up here, so you can use this as a technology cabinet if you like, or the cable actually runs over to where the television is as well. You can put your router there, up to you. Trying to leave it, again, flexible for however you like to set it up. And then further into the bathroom, we'll have a vanity with 2 drawers. We'll have a custom built wardrobe here and a toilet, and then a full tub and tiled shower surround. And then above me is a single loft, but we've made it extra big. We've actually cantilevered 2 feet off the back of the trailer to make this nearly a 16-foot deep loft. And we tried to set it up so that you can use it however you like. There's lots of flexibility with that. With these two windows up here, let's see if I can fit up here real quick. You can put your bed right up here, and there's plenty of headroom, and you'll have a nice cross breathe. We put outlets, here on either side of this window, so if this is where you think you'd like your bed, and you can use the back space for, closet or storage, or even there's plenty of room to put a couple of, beanbag chairs or something. You have a nice sitting or reading nook in the back if you like. Or we've also put outlets in those back corners if you prefer to put your bed way in the back, kind of cozy up in the back of the trailer and use this space here. You could almost, we've seen people take the legs off of couches, and put a nice sitting area up here. It can be used however you like, but we decided to put the entire loft, instead of doing two, we put it into one big loft that you can use however you like. So we hope you like it. We thought we'd give you just a little bit of a preview of how it's going to be put together. We're calling this model our Lumos. Thanks for watching.